afternoon, everyone. This is L4 Academy. Good to see you guys here again. Today we'll be reviewing a video on Hilda. So this Hilda is being played by Lance. In the previous videos, we've always done reviewing on the gold lane, the jungler, and perhaps the mid lane. So this is one of the rarer videos that we actually do a review on the EXP lane. So without further ado, let's watch and see what he does. So several tips on the EXP lane. Number one, what you really want to do is trying to get level 4 for the first turtle. I think that's the most important thing. And as an EXP laner right now, what you want to do is really to shove your wave and go for the mid lane, help the mid lane or invade their jungle. So I think a bit of mechanical mistakes right here is that when Lance is trading with this high loss, he didn't manage to cast finish all of his S2. So what Lance could have done is just cast his S2 3 times. Not sure why he stopped there after casting it once. Also here, when his S2 is up, can cast it once more. I'll say that the trade is pretty bad. Not that ideal. Could have been better by casting more S2 and walking into the bushes more to make use of Hilda's passive. So when you're playing Hilda, whenever there's a bush near you, you will want to go inside the bush, pull the enemy inside the bush, then trade with him inside the bush. Also, I think maybe itemization can be better. I'm not sure if it actually itemized magic resist cloak first. So if you're fighting high loss as a healer, your first item you will want to itemize magic resist cloak. This will help you trade better. So I'll say honestly, high loss, healer fighting high loss, as long as you stay inside the bush and fight him, usually things wouldn't go bad. Things will go into your favor. But Lance here isn't really making use of the bush to fight him on the 1v1. This is why he's starting to lose out in the matchup. So it's very bad to lose 1v1 as an EXP lane because number one, you will start losing rotations. Number two, you don't get your level 4 for your turtle. So try to at least break even in the lane rather than losing the lane. So what I like to do as a healer really is just stay in the bushes more, fight him in the bushes. Always make use of the bush to fight someone. Pull the enemy into the bush to fight with you instead of staying in the lane itself. So also one thing that I want to mention for itemization is that I'm pretty sure Lance didn't build a magic resist cloak for the first item. When fighting against Hilda, going magic resist cloak first or even completing the tough boots first is an ideal item. It's what you will want to go for. So this turtle fight could have been played better as well, I would say. Hide first, don't need to appear so quickly in the team fight. Also, when you're entering a team fight like this, you could use your revitalize much earlier. At this point of time, you should actually on your revitalize. Okay. So another thing that I didn't really like is casting the ultimate spell on the turtle. Not that ideal as well. Could have saved your ultimate spell, wait for the Atlas to ulti, then cast the ultimate spell. Would have been so much better. So at this point of time, really, what you will want to do is just shove your lane as quickly as possible, then play around the mid lane and the enemy jungler. Don't need to hesitate too much on clearing the waves. Okay, good. Yes, so if you take a look at Lance itemization, this is not the ideal itemization as an EXP lane. So when you're playing EXP lane, building the boots first, upgrading the boots first is actually the way to go. So I know that in the gold lane or maybe sometimes at the mid or even the jungler, you will want to skip your boots first. and then build the core item first. But as an EXP laner, you actually will need to build your boots first. Number one is because you're playing a melee hero. As a melee hero, you're more kiteable as compared to range heroes. You need the boots to help you to avoid getting kited. Number two, building the tough boots first against high loss is a very good item to help you in your lane. So always try to itemize upgraded boots first, better the warrior boots or even the tough boots as the tank EXP. If you're playing something like Paquito, Vendetta, then probably it's fine to not upgrade boots, but complete Hunter Strike first, or even like Heptasis first. So it really depends on what EXP laner you're playing, but most of the tank EXPs, you will want to complete your upgraded boots first. So here, I would say that after clearing this minion wave, what I will do is I will really just ignore this high loss. So I wouldn't use the S1 on the minion wave, and what I will do is I will just auto attack with my S2 to clear the minion wave. Then I will use my S1 to go to mid lane to help. So as an EXP laner, especially as a tank EXP, what you want to do is you do not want to stay in the lane. You want to really clear a wave and rotate to the mid lane or even to their jungler to help with your team. Don't stay in EXP lane, even at this timing. Always try to rotate to mid lane or even to their jungle. All these 1v1 fights, as long as you have cleared the lane, you do not need to take the 1v1 fight with him. Just leave the lane. Leave this high loss alone. In that way, then you will sort of win the rotation. So EXP lane is more about like which EXP laner can rotate the mid lane first, can help the team first. So the better gameplay here is really to rotate the mid, cover the mid lane. If you look at the mini-map, Lance team is doing a 4-man dive at the top lane. So when you're doing a 4-man dive at the top lane, the mid lane is empty. Someone needs to cover the mid lane. And if you compare in between mid lane and EXP lane, you will always want to prioritize the mid lane over the EXP lane. So here, as a Hilda, could have left the lane earlier, S1 to the mid lane, clear the mid wave, then come back to the EXP lane. Or even ignore the EXP lane and go to top lane to even do a 5-man top. So I would say a tank EXP laner is more of like a secondary roam. You really want to leave the lane, help the team more, enter team fights with the team in the early game. So if you take a look at the mini-map, even the Hylos has already left the lane. The Hylos didn't even care about this minion wave. And then he's already appearing at the top lane. So this is what I'm mentioning about. As an EXP lane, if you look at the Hylos, that's actually the correct rotation. So what Lance could have done, rather than 1v1 here, is really to go to the mid lane and go to the top lane instead. Just leave the EXP lane. This is how an tank EXP laner should be playing. The only times that you stay in the EXP lane is probably when you play something like a Paquito or a Vendetta, something which has damage to actually hit the tower with and can pressure the tower, or even Sun EXP. Any other tank EXP that you play, you want to leave the lane ASAP and assist your team, support your team, play the team fights. Okay, let's take a look at this team fight. Okay, pressuring the Bane. So, I really dislike how Lance uses his ultimate. So if you don't know, for Hilda, it's pretty similar with Hayabusa. Before you ultimate, you need to have some stacks on the enemy first. The more stacks you have, the higher damage your ultimate spell will do. So what you want to do really is you want to S1 yourself to place yourself into a position beside a core target. Use your S2 on the target to have some stacks on him, and then cast your ultimate spell. You don't want to just randomly cast the ultimate spell like this. It's very wasted. It's not fully utilizing what a Hilda should do. Also, when we are playing Hilda, if you see any bushes around you, especially this little bush in the middle between the region and revitalize button, always try to make use of the bushes in the team fight. Stand in the bushes and fight in the bush to really make use of Hilda's passive. So what I'll do here is I'll really walk into the bush, get some of the passive first, then slowly re-enter the fight instead of just standing here and fighting. So at this point of time, where the game is over 5 minutes, usually if you are playing with a good jungler or most likely an assassin jungler, as an EXP lane, my advice is stop going to the EXP lane. After 5 minutes, usually in higher level mythic plays or even I would say mythic glory game plays, rank games, usually what the EXP laner will do is he will start going to mid lane instead. And for the EXP lane, the jungler will take over and farm that lane. So this bottom lane should be farmed by the jungler. What Lance should do here is Lance should go to the mid lane, help the Veil, and then go to the top lane, help the gold laner. Shouldn't be going bottom lane anymore. Also, very big. Wait. Please, if you're playing a melee hero, you really need boots. You need boots to not get kited. You need boots to chase their core targets. You need boots, especially tough boots, to grant yourself the CC duration reduction against heroes such as Hylos, against heroes such as Angela, Sicilian, S2, Bane ulti. You need all of this. So always upgrade your boots first. Ideally, you should get it in the first item, but now what Lance is doing is he's not even buying it as a second item, which is very bad. So this is something Lance needs to learn and work on it. Okay. So here is good. I mean, after clearing his lane, he tries to apply pressure to the jungler. But I'll say at this timing, 6 minutes 39 seconds, pressuring the jungler is really hard to do so, especially as a Bane jungler. If it's an assassin jungler, it's easier to do that, to do this. So what you really want to do here is really to help the mid lane instead of pressuring the jungler. Because pressuring a Bane is really hard to do so. I'm pretty sure Lance is gonna end up dying here. So going too deep in the jungler shouldn't have disturbed this here Bane. Help the Veil instead. So if you want to go for jungle invades as a Hilda, ideally what you want to do is to invade him in the first or even the second wave of buffs. Currently at this timing is the third of maybe even fourth wave of buffs. You shouldn't be invading anymore. What you should be doing is really to help your mid lane or even your gold lane. So just remember that in MLBB, your gold laner and your mage are the two most vulnerable targets. So for these two heroes, there always needs to be some form of protection. So for the gold laner, usually is by default, it should be protected by the roam. And then when the mid lane, where the mid lane has no one to protect, you as EXP laner, you should protect the mid lane. And vice versa, if the roam is helping the mid lane, then you should be helping the gold lane. So really leave the lane and help your carries more. Protect them, help them open vision, this kind of thing. So it's a good thing that Lance has stopped playing the side lane and entering the team fights more. But but what could have been really done better in team fights is hide in bushes more, make use of Hilda's passive. Always stack your S2 first before using ultimate. So other than that, it's fine. So good, another team fight. So the gameplay after 7 minutes is good, but it could have been done earlier. After 5 minutes, you could have started leaving the lane rather than waiting for the 7 minutes mark. And also the first jungle invade is not it's quite redundant, yeah. It wasn't needed lah. So let's watch this team fight. So try not to cast your S2 on minions anymore, especially at this point of time. Number one, your S2 don't really do any more damage to the minions. Number two, what you want to do here is you should prepare for a team fight, because your lot is already pushing into the enemy team tier 3. So what you want to do here is save your spells in case anything happens, and then try to prepare for a team fight. Don't S1 the minions. Also, when you are solo pushing a lane like this, try to ping your carries to come with you, specifically your gold laner and your mid laner. You don't want to be in a position like this alone as a tank. It's easy for the enemy to just go for you. Okay. So let's watch team fights again. So for this team fight right here, then you could have taken a position much more in front, much more aggressive, I'll say. As a tank, don't stand behind your carries. You see, your Harif and Veil is literally in front of you. Where you should be standing is where the Lucas should be standing. You should be playing with the Lucas at that positioning. You should be helping your team to create some distraction, create some zoning. Instead of standing here behind your carries, you need to stand in front of them. The Lucas position is honestly the best position to be in. You need to be with the Lucas. Okay, let's watch another team fight. Atlas flanking from behind. Okay, good. Okay, pretty much a straightforward team fight. So here, what I will do after this Q on the bin is that once you see this carry, go for the carry. Okay? Even though you got S-stood by even though you got even though you got S-stood by a Sicilian, but what you want to do here is really to kite backwards instead of go for the Sicilian. You want to protect your carries behind. Go for the carry to protect your veil. So this tough boost upgrader is really very slow. And what is this, Lance? Why are you buying two dominance eyes? So what should have been itemized here is your antique cuirass, or even a silent rogue first and antique cuirass. So the two items here should be antique cuirass, then Athena shield, and immortality. Itemization in this game is very bad. So it's quite fortunate that he actually took the lot. Okay, let's watch this. So try not to go onto the enemy carry like this. If he's a better player, he could actually kill you and get out of it alive. So don't anyhow oil the enemy carry. It's a good thing that the Harv is behind to provide the backup, but really not the ideal play. What you will want to do is really just hold on to your spells, wait for your team to come, then walk in front and try and soak some damage. So yeah, that's the end of this game. What I really want to highlight here is that number one, itemization is very bad. As a melee hero, as a tank XP, please upgrade your boots first and complete your boots first. Do not ever skip your boots. You actually need boots first. Number two, you can leave the EXP lane much earlier, especially at the 5 minutes mark. So usually you'll want to see the timer, and once it's 5 minutes, you want to leave your EXP lane, permanently babysitting your gold laner or even your mid laner. The next thing I want to highlight is that as an EXP lane also, whenever you clear your wave, try not to 1v1 the enemy tank EXP. It is very time wasting because number one, you're playing a tank EXP, you're fighting another tank EXP. Do you know how long it will take to actually kill him? You do not have damage and the enemy is tanky. So it's really very time wasting to go and 1v1 a high loss. Rather, what you can do is just clear the wave, ignore the high loss, and go to mid lane, help the mid lane. So do not ever try to take a 1v1 on the enemy tank EXP when playing a tank EXP. It will take like 10,000 years to actually kill him. Yeah, so the better playing gameplay is always to clear the wave, leave the lane, help the team, help the mid lane, help or even rotate to the goal lane and totally ignore the EXP lane. So just try and imagine that the EXP lane is not a lane. It's more of um it's more of a, okay, it is a lane, but it's a lane where you can just live easily. Especially every time after you clear the minion wave, just treat it as a place where you do not want to be to be at. Yeah, you really want to leave the EXP as much as possible. Uh, if not helping the mid lane, probably go and disturb their jungler more, these kind of things. So yeah, leave the EXP lane. So that's the biggest advice I can give to all 10 EXP laners out there. Really leave the EXP lane and try to help your team more. Go for the team fights, go for the harassment on the enemy junglers. Yeah, so I think that's about it. I hope you guys learned something from this video. Stay tuned for further videos that are coming up, and if you want to get more advices, direct messages, or even finding players for coordinated gameplay in ranked games, do join our Bond squad, join our Bond Telegram group chat. We'll hit up the link in below in the YouTube description. So yeah, see you guys. Goodbye.